Good morning. In the last class, we have completed part 4A of the Constitution. Part 4A deals with the fundamental duties which are incorporated in our Constitution by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976. So, you are thorough with all the fundamental duties included in part 4A. So, after part 4A, today we shall start the provisions of part 5 of the Constitution. Part 5 deals with the union. Don't say union government. I will explain why we should not say the union government, and some people say central government. Even in Telugu medium books they write Kendra Prabhutvam. No, that is wrong. Kendram means the union. And the articles which are included under part 5 of the Constitution are from Article 52 to 151. That means 100 articles are allotted to part 5 of the Constitution out of the total 395 articles at the time of adoption of the Constitution. With this, we can understand the importance of part 5 of the Constitution. Accordingly, even in your examination also, out of 13 to 15 questions in civil services preliminary examination, we can see at least 3 to 5 questions from this part every year. So, keeping in view the importance of the provisions of part 5 of the Constitution, let us concentrate more and more on the provisions of part 5 of the Constitution. Followed, the union. What do you mean by the union? Why it is called union? We shall discuss every aspect, because even in the main examination also, when we wanted to write the descriptive answer in the main examination more effectively, you must have thorough knowledge about the provisions and interpretations of the Constitution. Okay. Now, let us see. The Indian Constitution provides a unique political system, and governance with both federal and unitary features. Because even in the beginning also, we have discussed about the nature of the Indian Constitution, which comprises both the features of the union and federal. It means unitary and federal. Therefore, whenever it is relevant to answer a descriptive answer, you have to write the Indian Constitution provides a unique political system. We can say a unique political system and governance with both federal and unitary features. And now we can say, what is Article 1? Article 1 of our Constitution says or declares that India, that is Bharat. What is the official name of India? Means, as per the provisions of our Constitution, it is Bharat, shall be the union of states. Union of states. What does it mean? It implies that there shall be a union. Union of states means union and states. It implies that there shall be a union government and also state governments. But here we are saying government without judiciary, because judiciary is not a part of the government. So therefore, union executive and legislature and state executive and legislature. So we have the parliament at the union level and state legislature at the state level. The Union Council of Ministers at the national level and State Council of Ministers at the state level. So that means parallelly we have two governments, union government and state governments. Is it clear now? It is therefore the Indian Constitution has been described as, because in general, what is the nature of Indian Constitution means? So therefore, the Indian Constitution has been described in general as federal in structure. Means Indian Constitution is a federal constitution in structure. In structure means structurally it appears in structure, and unitary in spirit. So therefore, we have unitary features and federal features, which we have discussed very clearly, say, in the previous classes. In a federal constitution, there are two governments. What is a federal constitution? Federal means having dual governments. Dual governments means two governments, one at the national level and the other at the state level. So accordingly, we have union government and also state governments. Both the union and states are provided with, just now I told you, provided with separate provisions in the Constitution. Separate provisions for the union executive, separate provisions for the state executive, separate provisions for the union legislature, that is parliament, and state legislatures. Separate provisions in the Constitution which are included in separate parts, part 5 and part 6. That means part 5 deals the union, part 6 deals with the states. Followed. Both the union and the states are provided with the three organs of the state. State is different, government is different, because government is a part of state. Similarly, judiciary is also a part of state, but judiciary is not a part of government. Always you must remember this. With the three organs of the state, which are as follows: the executive means union executive, state executive; the legislature, the union legislature, that is parliament, and the state legislatures; the judiciary, the Supreme Court and high courts and other courts at the state level. As far as the union is concerned, only the Supreme Court. But at the state level, we have high courts, then district courts and other lower courts. Followed. These three organs are considered as three pillars of the state. What are the three pillars of the state? Three pillars. The state means an independent nation, a sovereign nation, means three organs, namely executive, legislature and judiciary. Now let us go to part 5, means only the union. So what is the structure of the union? So here what we are going to study in part 5 are mainly the structural aspects of the union. Structural aspects of the union. Followed. But we shall see See, just now I told you, federal in structure and unitary in spirit. We shall see the unitary features in other parts of the Constitution, where the union exercises its control over the states, but not here, but in other parts we can see. For example, when we study about the provisions relating to the emergency, means here the states are under the control of the union. That is the spirit of the unitary constitution. There I will say discuss. Now let us see the union executive, the union legislature, and the judiciary. We should not say union judiciary, because judiciary is independent and it is not a part of the government. So therefore, union executive, legislature, and the provisions relating to the judiciary. In fact, so here in the beginning I told you, articles from 52 to 151 means 100 articles are allotted to part 5. So these 100 articles are further divided into executive, legislature, and judiciary. But see, they are not typed here, but you can add, so you can note down. Executive comprises from article 52 to 78. 52 to 78 followed related to the union executive. Then union legislature means the parliament. The provisions relating to the parliament are from article 79 to 122. Strictly speaking 123, but there is a difference, I will explain. 122. Now 123 belongs to both executive and legislature, because article 123 deals with the ordinance making power of the president. Ordinance making power of the president. What is an ordinance? Ordinance is a temporary law. What is the function, main function of the legislature? To make the laws. So therefore, we say, because it is the president who proclaims, who declares ordinances, but subject to ratification by the parliament. So therefore, we can say provisions relating to legislature are from article 79 to 122, and article 123 deals with ordinance making power of the president. What is ordinance? A law, temporary law. What is legislature? Major function to enact the legislations, means laws. So that is also law and this is also law. Therefore 123 is separate, a little bit different from the powers and functions of the legislature, means parliament. Then article 124 to 147 deal with the provisions relating to the Supreme Court. Only Supreme Court. Provisions relating to the Supreme Court. Okay. So we have seen up to article 147. Then what about 148, 149, 150 and 151? These 4 articles are related to the Controller and Auditor General of India. Just you remember, see structurally this is the structure. It means in terms of the articles, provisions. So Union Executive, article 52 to 78. Parliament, Union Legislature 79 to 122. Article 123 deals with ordinance making powers of the president, and 124 to 147, the provisions relating to the Supreme Court, and Article 148 to 151 deal with the provisions relating to the Controller and Auditor General of India. Is it clear now? Now, let us see what are the parts of the Union Executive. The Union Executive comprises the President, the Vice President, the Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister, and Attorney General. Sorry. See, then the Union Executive comprises the President, Vice President, Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister, and Attorney General of India. Attorney General of India. Why Controller and Auditor General is separate? Because he is also an independent constitutional body like the Supreme Court. But Attorney General is a part of the Union Executive, means Union Government. He is not independent constitutional body because he is a part of the government. But Controller and Auditor General of India is not a part of the government, and therefore Article 148 to 158 deal with the provisions to the Controller and Auditor General of India, who is an independent constitutional body. But Attorney General is not independent, but he is a part of the government. So, Executive comprises the President, Vice President, Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister, and Attorney General of India. Then Union Legislature. Union Legislature means the Parliament. The Parliament comprises, followed, the Parliament comprises President, because President is an integral part of the Parliament. President. Then the Council of States, which is also called Rajya Sabha and Upper House. And 3, it is not there, President. So, here it includes President, Council of States, or Rajya Sabha or Upper House. Then the third organ part of the Parliament is House of People, or the Lok Sabha, or the lower house. So, Executive comprises 4, President, Vice President, Union Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister, and the Attorney General of India. Legislature means Parliament comprises President, the Council of States, and the House of People. And the third organ, Judiciary. Judiciary is not a part of the government, it is an independent constitutional body. Therefore, we cannot say it is a part of government, but it is a part of the state. State is different and government is different. Just now I told you. So, here government is a part of state. Followed. So, therefore, judiciary is also part of a state, but not a government. So, that is why here we should understand that judiciary is an independent constitutional body, means the Supreme Court is an independent constitutional body. And here from Article 124 to 147 exclusively deal with the provisions relating to the Supreme Court only. Followed. So, this part does not cover the provisions relating to High Courts and other courts in India. Followed. So this is about by and large the overall structure of the